Welcome to Fran Coach's Franchising 101 podcast series. Here we talk about all things franchising. What is it all about? Is it for you? How do you find the best one to own? And so much more. Now your host, Tim Parmeter.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the Franchising 101 podcast. I am Tim Parmeter, founder and CEO of Fran Coach and your podcast host. We have a topic we want to talk about today that we get asked about a lot. And that is really, do you have to be a full-time owner as a franchise owner? What if you're not in a position to do that? What if you don't want to do that? Is that possible? We're going to discuss that, what that might look like today. To give you a better idea, give you a little spoiler alert, it is possible to not be full-time as an owner of a franchise. Let's go into that here in a little bit. First, I always want to kind of remind everybody, who is Fran Coach? What do we do? And well, first off, we are a national search firm dedicated to working with individuals like you who are interested in owning a franchise. We are partnered with well over 500 of the top franchisors in the country, and that spans nearly 60 industries. Our number one goal in our process is to help educate people on franchise ownership to determine if this is the right path for them. And our goal of the Franchising 101 podcast series is to help educate people on all aspects of franchise ownership. Today's aspect of franchise ownership is, you'll hear a few terms: semi-absentee owner, maybe where it's a side gig, maybe it's an investment opportunity, but you have something else going on that is essentially kind of your full-time gig thing you're focused the majority of your time on. That does not prohibit you from becoming a franchise owner. The most common term you'll hear with this is a semi-absentee owner. So what does that mean? So semi-absentee, and again, probably the most common way is, let's say you've got your corporate gig and you don't necessarily completely hate it. And I got to tell you, we hear that more and more here of late. People that still have the jobs and just can't stand them. Definitely talk to us, right? But if you're there and maybe it's okay, right? And you want to keep it for a little bit, but really would like to have that secondary revenue stream coming in, right? So we can look to find a business where, and again, semi-absentee is your role as the owner. It is not the business is not part-time, right? The business is up and running full-time. So you're going to spend, as a semi-absentee owner, maybe 10, 12, 15 hours a week. And your main job is to manage the manager who is there running the day-to-day. Envision you were full-time in that business. You're going to hire the person that would be doing all of those things, right? Which can have a wide range of kind of tasks and duties depending on the business. Your job, most of that is remote, 10, 12, 15 hours a week, managing that manager who's running the day-to-day. What are some other things that you could do in that time? Everybody's a little bit different. Some people do like to get out, face of the business, maybe do some networking for their franchise opportunity. Maybe you'll show up if there's a physical location. Maybe you show up there from time to time. Semi-absentee options probably lean just slightly where they are going to have a brick and mortar. But there are tons of service things out there as well that don't require kind of retail space. Maybe there is still an office. Maybe you roll in there from time to time, right? Don't have to, but you can. Some people like, really focused on the operation. Some people are still in the sales, but your overall overarching theme: manage the manager, really keep a pulse on the business, the sales, the marketing, anything financial, all of those things, right? And again, most of that you can do remote. Franchises that have that semi-absentee model and option for their owner are going to have a really strong infrastructure to, again, allow you to kind of keep your finger on the pulse wherever you are, whether that's sitting in your fancy corporate office, a corner office in the corporate world, if that's sitting on the couch at home watching TV, if you're on a beach somewhere. And I recommend the latter, right? So wherever that is, you're going to have all of those things there for you, right? So what are some things that you need to have kind of skill set wise for this, right? Well, you do have to have strong leadership. You have to be able to not be the doer, right? You have to be able to get the people in place and manage them and not be the overbearing, annoying micromanager. And please, just in general, don't be that person. Nobody likes that person. But you have to be able to do that. And you have to be disciplined enough to still keep looking at your business. It is ultimately your business, right? And as it builds up, there's really a couple things you can look at. Some people will keep it in that semi-absentee mode, whether it's because they're working or something that's probably far more common than people realize is you become really scale and grow your business. And we've had a few podcasts on this. Maybe you own multiple locations of that franchise. Maybe you own multiple franchises, right? And so you're managing the manager, right? Kind of the puppet master for all of those things in that semi-absentee role, right? So that can stay there. It also can be that exit strategy from the corporate job, right? Maybe we're not quite ready to leave that salary, right? And I had somebody say this on one of our episodes a couple months back. And I may be botching this a little bit, but the most powerful drug in the world is the paycheck, right? But we all like to eat. And so if it's not feasible to leave that job right away, that semi-absentee business model can give you an opportunity to have something build up on the side. And then as that really does get bigger, right, and get close to where you can kind of step away from the job and now launch into the business full time, to help it really grow exponentially as a full-time owner, you can definitely do that, right? So that's kind of that semi-absentee option. The other thing that kind of comes into play with this is people can look at this from a passive investment opportunity, right? Any financial planner is going to talk to you about diversification, right? Hey, put your money in your 401k. Awesome. That's great. What you're going to make over the next 10 years in the 401k is going to historically, right? Whatever those averages are, it's going to be less than what you're going to make taking that same money and putting that into a franchise, right? Let me back up a little caveat. You got to find the right franchise. You actually have to work it, follow the plan, right? It's not an ATM machine. You've got to have those things. And again, that's our role with Fran Coach through our podcast, is to be able to help match people with that perfect opportunity for them, right? So make sure we're really clear on that. It's not pick one and let the money roll in, right? So you're going to have that opportunity to have a wealth building diversification within your investments, whether it is you have multiple businesses, whether you're working a job, whatever that might be. You've got some extra money, even if you want to use your retirement, you want to use equity, you want to use an SBA loan, non-SBA loan, all the different funding options that are out there for you. And again, stuff that we're going to help you with at Fran Coach. But we look at it from an investment perspective. And, what would you make in 10 years dropping $200,000 into a 401k, right? 8-10% at the end of that time, and then eventually cash it out. Great. Nothing wrong with that. That's awesome. We all should be doing something similar to that. But from an investment perspective with the business, that same $200,000, you're going to have the money that's coming in, right, throughout running your business. You're going to build the wealth and equity of it. And in 10 years, if you've done anything even moderately properly from a franchise ownership standpoint, your rate of return is going to be significantly higher from that business. Not to mention, you now have the ability to you cash out your investment, right? That you're getting just that money that's in there. With the franchise, you've made all the money along the way. Now you have an asset that you can sell, similar to real estate, right? With that thing, maybe you make maybe it's only a multiple of one. Well, I invested 200, I got 200 back at the end with everything that I've made along the way. Not bad, but it also could be a multiple of 2, 3, sometimes even crazy things like 4, depending on the business model, right? And how good of a job you've done building that up, right? So that from an investment standpoint, again, probably about that same time, right? Manage the manager, get the right people in place, and then monitor everything that is going on. So it can always be kind of that more passive investment opportunity for you. It can be start that way as kind of secondary income stream while you have your job, build it up so now you have that exit strategy to get out and really have your own business, right? Those are the things that we always want people to kind of think about when they're looking at this. And more importantly, understand that it is possible. And I think the biggest thing we always want to try to get across to people is franchise ownership is significantly more attainable than most people realize. Does not take as much money as most people will think. It's not all McDonald's and Taco Bell's and several $1 million, right? There are things for literally a fraction of that are out there that you can build great businesses with, control of your destiny, your lifestyle, all of those great things, right? But really the goal of today is to talk about how you can have your job and a business. And you can turn that into your exit strategy from the business, or you can add that as diversification to your investment portfolio and something that you can eventually sell at the end, right? And again, easy to grow and scale from there, right? So those are things that are out there. It is significantly more attainable. And here's the thing. If you have somehow found the Franchising 101 podcast, it means you have some level of interest, curiosity, wonderment. Is this possible, right? So congratulations on taking that first step. Take the next one. Get in touch with our team at FranCoach, francoach.net or franchising101podcast.net. Send us a message. There is never any fee for our service. Could it, as you work with our team, could it be possible that this isn't quite the right time for you to become a franchise owner? Absolutely, right? Worst that's going to happen is you're going to learn something new along the way, and maybe you file that information away for later. But maybe, just maybe, this is the time for you to have that business, right? And to, again, create a secondary income stream, create a passive investment opportunity, that diversification. Maybe it's time to jump full time and say, peace out, job. I want full on control of my business, right? And my life and everything, and jump full time. We don't know yet. The only way to find out is to truly explore it. Our team is here to help. So we hope you will take a few minutes, reach out to us, at least set up that first call. You've found the Franchising 101 podcast. You have some interest. You've listened this much. You definitely have some interest. Reach out, take 15 minutes. I always kind of joke, we're like Geico. 15 minutes, save you money on blah, blah, blah. 15 minutes could maybe change your life, which is super cheesy, but it's really, it can be a life-changing opportunity. Having a business, secondary income stream, passive diversification within your portfolio. That's what we're here for. And we want to thank all of our loyal podcast listeners. This was the semi-absentee comes up a lot with our clients that we talk to, but we did actually have a listener kind of reach out to us and ask us if this was something that was possible. So I thought a great opportunity to revisit semi-absentee and passive ownership. Thank you for everybody that does tune in and listen weekly. Please be sure to follow, subscribe. Don't be afraid to give us a review. We like, as long as they're good, right? If they're not, that would don't bother. But we are here for you. Again, francoach.net, franchising101podcast.net. There's never, ever any fee for our service. So we encourage you to you took the first step being here, right? Take the next one, reach out to our team, get that first call set up. Who knows? This could be the next step to creating your better tomorrow. So thanks everybody for tuning in to the Franchising 101 podcast. We look forward to talking with you very soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks for listening to FranCoach's Franchising 101 podcast, where our ultimate goal is to help educate you on all things franchising, so you can create your better tomorrow.